Welcome to Fable and Fact. We're diving into one of the hottest topics on the financial crime scene, dirty money, the insane world of money laundering explained. Picture this, a tropical city dripping with luxury, where mansions gleam under the sun and Lamborghinis purr through the streets. Now, imagine over 400 cops storming in, kicking off a raid so wild it sounds like a Hollywood blockbuster. That's exactly what went down in Singapore on August 15, 2023, and it's our launching pad into the murky, mind-blowing world of money laundering. Let's set the scene. It's a balmy night in Singapore, and the police are buzzing like hornets. After years of cloak and dagger investigations, they're ready to pounce. Helicopters chop the air overhead, SWAT teams surround 9 jaw-dropping properties. Think infinity pools, private elevators, and enough marble to rebuild the Colosseum. Inside one of these palaces, a suspect freaks out. He bolts for the balcony, leaps from the second floor, and crunch, twists his ankle. Limping like a wounded animal, he dives into a sewer to escape. A sewer. But there's no outrunning this sting. By dawn, 10 suspects are in handcuffs, and the cops have seized a treasure trove worth over $1 billion. We're talking fleets of luxury cars, art that could grace a museum, crypto wallets stuffed to the brim, designer watches, handbags pricier than your rent, and stacks of cold, hard cash. But hold up, this billion-dollar bust was just the appetizer. The full menu? A staggering $30 billion tied to an illegal online gambling ring in Southeast Asia, spiced up with some loan sharking and cyber fraud on the side. These weren't petty thieves. They were masterminds running a global empire of dirty money. So how did they pull it off for so long? And how do you turn a mountain of illicit cash into something you can spend without everyone raising an eyebrow? That, my friends, is the art of money laundering. And today, we're peeling back the curtain on how it all works. So, what's money laundering anyway? No, it's not about tossing your dollar bills into a washing machine with some detergent, though that'd be a sight. It's the process of taking cash from shady deeds, think drug deals, scams, or illegal gambling, and dressing it up to look like it came from a squeaky clean source. The goal? Spend it freely without the cops knocking on your door. Here's a simple way to picture it. Imagine you're a kid. Let's call you Little Timmy, and you find a wallet with $10,000 inside. Jackpot, right? But if you roll up to your house with a shiny new PlayStation, your mom's going to squint at you and go, "Timmy, where'd you get the cash for that?" Busted. Unless you cook up a story. Maybe you say you've been mowing lawns or selling cookies door to door. Now, mom's off your back and you're gaming in peace. That's money laundering in a nutshell. Crafting a cover story so the money looks legit. But when you're dealing with millions, or billions like in Singapore, it's not as easy as fibbing to your parents. You need a full-on operation, fake businesses, secret bank accounts, and some seriously creative accounting. Why? Because big money attracts big attention, and criminals need to dodge 2 major hurdles. First, they've got to make the cash untraceable, wipe away any trail that leads back to the crime. Second, they need to spin a tale so convincing that no one bats an eye when they buy a yacht or a penthouse. Let's dive into how they do it, starting with the old-school tricks and working our way up to the slick, modern moves. Back in the day, money laundering was almost comically simple. Criminals loved cash-heavy businesses where they could mix their dirty dollars with legit earnings. Take the laundromat. Yep, that's where the term money laundering comes from. In the 1920s, mobster Al Capone ran a chain of laundromats in Chicago. Why? Because they raked in cash daily. If the place pulled in $10,000 from washing socks, Capone could sneak in an extra $5,000 from his bootlegging gigs and call it a day. No one's counting every shirt to check the math. It's the perfect cover. But laundromats are chump change when you're moving serious dough. That's where casinos come in, and they're like the VIP lounge of classic money laundering. Picture a guy strolling into a casino with a briefcase stuffed with cash. He swaps it for chips, plays a few rounds of poker, win or lose, doesn't matter, then cashes out. Presto. That grimy cash is now a clean casino check or wire transfer. If anyone asks, he just shrugs and says, "Got lucky at blackjack." Some don't even bother gambling. They buy chips, sip a drink, and cash out like it's a drive-through. This casino trick was so hot that it's still a go-to, but regulators have wised up. Big joints like Vegas now have tight rules. If you cash out over $10,000, you better have a solid story because they're reporting it. That's pushed criminals to get craftier, and boy, have they delivered. Let's talk about turning cash into assets, stuff that's easier to hide and harder to trace. The big three, art, real estate, and gold. Buckle up, because this is where it gets wild. First up, art. Why is it a money laundering fave? Because it's secretive, subjective, and can cost a fortune. Art auctions are like a playground for shady deals. Buyers and sellers stay anonymous, and prices swing like a pendulum. A painting might be $10,000 one day and $10 million the next. Who's arguing? Here's a slick move. A crook buys a canvas for $100,000 in cash, gets a shady appraiser to slap a $1 million tag on it, then sells it to their own fake company. Boom. $900,000 of dirty money is now legit art profits. And here's a twist. Art's also great for bribery. Instead of handing over a risky cash bribe, you gift a priceless painting to a corrupt official. They sell it later, pocket the cash, and no one's the wiser. In 2019, a Malaysian tycoon tied to the 1MDB scandal allegedly dropped millions on art with stolen funds. Picassos and Monets became his laundry detergent. Next, real estate, the Swiss Army knife of money laundering. It's stable, valuable, and you can live in it while you're at it. In the Singapore case, these guys owned 207 properties in the city alone, plus millions more in places like Dubai. The play's simple. Buy a mansion with dirty cash, sit on it, then sell it later for clean money. When the bank asks where your millions came from, you just say, "Oh, I flipped a house." Most won't dig deeper. But it's not just about flipping. Real estate's also a parking lot for cash. In cities like London or Dubai, where rules are loose and cash still talks, crooks buy up properties anonymously and let their money chill there, safe from prying eyes. Here's the kicker. This real estate game screws over regular folks. Ever wonder why homes in Vancouver or Singapore cost an arm and a leg? Part of it's snow washing, laundering cash through luxury pads. In Vancouver, shadowy buyers from China pumped so much dirty money into mansions that prices soared, and the government had to slap on new taxes to cool it down. Same deal in Singapore. Those 207 properties didn't help the housing crunch. When criminals overpay to clean their cash, it's everyone else who gets priced out. Then there's gold, the granddaddy of laundering assets. It's portable, pricey, and trades like a dream. You can buy it with cash, smuggle it anywhere, and sell it for clean funds, no questions asked. In many spots, gold deals are barely regulated, making it a smuggler's best friend. Check this out. A Moroccan crew helped British drug lords wash over $250 million. The plan? Cash got handed off in the UK, driven to Paris, counted by a guy blasting the TV to drown out the rustling, then swapped for gold in Belgium. 2 housewives flew that gold to Dubai, Golden City Central, where it was sold and banked as clean cash. They moved 3 tons of gold a year until a sharp-eyed auditor in Dubai sniffed out the scam in 2017. Busted. But assets alone don't cut it. You've got to make the money believable. That's where businesses come in, and criminals love playing entrepreneur. They'll sink cash into legit fronts, restaurants, construction firms, even movie studios, not to turn a profit, but to build a story. Take Hollywood. A crook might invest $50 million in a film, but only $5 million hits the screen. The rest? Cleaned cash, written off as production costs. Ever see a terrible movie and wonder who funded it? Maybe a launderer did. Sports teams are another gem. In Portugal, a Russian oligarch snapped up a failing soccer club called LACERTA in 2014. He didn't care about winning games. He used player trades and TV deals to wash money for the Russian mob. The club tanked, but he lived like royalty until Portugal's Russian doll raid in 2016 nabbed 3 of his crew. The tip-off? A broke team with a boss splashing cash on players who never played? Sketchy much? Then there's trade-based laundering. Sneaky and massive. Criminals fudge invoices to move money across borders. Say you export $1 million in timber, but bill it at $10 million. The extra $9 million pays off debts or shifts cash all under the radar. Or flip it. Import $10 million in goods, invoice it at $1 million, then sell it for the full amount. Clean profits, no sweat. Customs can't check every crate, so it's a gold mine for big players. But the real MVP of money laundering? Shell companies. These are ghost businesses, paper-only outfits with no staff, no office, just a bank account and a P.O. box. Set one up in a tax haven like the British Virgin Islands or Panama, and you're golden. Privacy laws there are tighter than a vault, hiding the real owners. In Singapore, the crooks wove a web of shells to shuffle their billions worldwide. Money zipped through so many layers that tracing it was like chasing a ghost. The Panama Papers in 2016 blew the lid off this game, exposing how everyone from celebs to crooks stashed cash in these shadowy shells. Oh, and let's not sleep on crypto. Bitcoin and its buddies are the new kids on the block. Anonymous, borderless, and fast. A criminal can swap cash for crypto, bounce it through wallets, and cash out clean. It's not all shady, crypto's legit for many, but for launderers, it's a dream. Experts say it's laundering's future, and regulators are scrambling to catch up. So, how do you fight this beast? It's a nightmare. Money laundering's global, and crooks are slicker than ever. Banks have Know Your Customer rules, KYC for short, forcing them to ID clients and their cash sources. But slip-ups happen. In Singapore, the gang got nabbed when a bank spotted a forged property deed. One tiny mistake unraveled it all, but only 10 of 27 suspects got caught. The rest? Still out there, laughing with their billions. Here's the scale. The UN pegs global laundering at 2% to 5% of GDP, trillions annually. That's more than some countries' entire economies. And it's not just crooks winning, it's everyone else losing. Laundered cash fuels corruption, jacks up housing costs, and warps markets. In Singapore, the bust netted billions for the government via auctions, but the reputational hit stung hard. They've since beefed up bank and real estate checks, making it tougher for rich foreigners to park cash there. Funny twist, some are now flocking to Hong Kong instead. Not saying it's all dirty, just that the rules feel less like a chokehold. Regulating this mess is like whack-a-mole on steroids. Shut down one trick and 3 more pop up. Different countries, different rules. It's a cat and mouse chase across borders. Banks lean on frontline staff to spot red flags, but there's a catch. Those same staff are judged on reeling in clients, not scaring them off with questions. It's a conflict baked into the system, and crooks exploit it. So why should you care? Because this isn't victimless. That unaffordable apartment, that shady politician, that drug ring down the street, it's all tied to dirty money. Next time you see someone flexing wealth that doesn't add up, maybe they're a genius investor. Or maybe they're just really good at laundering. Either way, the financial world's dirtier than it looks. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the murky world of money laundering, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring the bell so you never miss an episode of Fable and Fact. Thanks for watching.